how a beginner can get over 6 deals per month in wholesaling real estate. What's up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I talk with Tony here. We really break down how beginners can go out there, start getting over 6 deals per month in wholesaling real estate. Guys, before we get into it, remember, you need to smash that like button and subscribe to get the most true value from me, and let's get in the clip. Tony, you're 22 years old. You started wholesaling at 21. As a fellow young person, I know there's so many 16, 17-year-olds watching this, and they're watching you, and they're like, how do I get like you? How do I have my wholesale business look like you? They're having a lot of doubting thoughts in their minds. I mean, I got to say this again, but how can you at age 21 get real estate wholesaling deals? What is your secret as a young person?
First step I'm going to say is understand wholesaling. That's just the very, very basicness. Understand what the process is. And if you don't understand it, figure it out. Go watch a million YouTube videos and figure out A to Z. What does it look like? Outline it so that you can understand, how it actually makes sense, how it flows. Because once you get to those pieces where you get stuck, you have to do more research. And I'd rather you just understand it from the beginning. And two, I'd find somebody, whether it be a paid mentor, a free mentor, somebody that you're willing to do work for. People say it all the time. Go do work for somebody for free. Go offer them a service if they already know. Say, how can I serve you so that you can help me? I think that's important. I think mentors are important. I think, they can bring you up. They can help you. They can inspire you. They can motivate you. I have several mentors in my life now, and I'll explain why I think this is important. There was a young individual. His name is Josh. He actually started renting one of the rooms in my office. He necessarily couldn't afford it, but he wasn't necessarily in a position where he needed an office. And so it was just him and him and a buddy. They were going to try wholesaling, and they decided that they wanted to be around the atmosphere that I had already created in my office. And, they came in very humble and said, can we please rent here? And I said, to be honest, it didn't suit me to have more wholesalers renting in my own building because we're talking about deals. We're talking about addresses. We're planning meetings all day. We're flying here and there. Like sometimes somebody will leave and they won't lock a door. Somebody will leave and, lockbox might get, around. Not that anything would happen, but it's just wasn't necessarily the environment I wanted to have, anybody else around. I wanted it to be just us, just my team, or if somebody was going to be there, somebody from some sort of other industry that was just kind of there to use it as an office for themselves. But I gave them a chance. They started asking me questions and questions and questions. And, it got to the point where sometimes I'd have to say, hey, it might cost you a little bit just because now, this takes up a lot of time. And so on top, they were paying rent. These guys did not have a big budget. They were driving for dollars and writing down the addresses on paper or on their phones, not even PropStream or Deal Machine, nothing. 18 and 19 years old. They were driving around. They'd come back. They'd say, hey, how can I skip trace this for free? I said, well, you're not necessarily going to you're not going to be fast at it in terms of calling, and you're not going to have the best data, but, use fast people or search. And so they did. They'd sit in there. They asked me if they could rent a desk. I said, yeah, here's one. You're going to pay $10 a month. I wasn't trying, renting it for anything crazy, but they were in there. They had nothing in their office besides a desk and a chair, and they were cold calling and cold calling and cold calling. First 2 deals came. They were $2,000 total, that they were getting as their assignment. They said, Tony, can we JV? I said, yeah, let's do it. Got them paid on both. Then it came a third one. They actually made like 17K on it. Then they split, which I understand because it comes to the point where maybe they're not the right partners for each other, etc. And Josh went on to just do an $80,000 deal at 8 years old. $80,000 on one deal assignment.
How old was he?
He's 19 years old right now.
Wow. Whoa. That's
So
big.
it's crazy just by asking the right questions. But it wasn't they asked the questions the way I like to be asked questions. A lot of people message me on a regular basis. And I'm sure you get, messages too, Zach. And a lot of people watching this get messages about how are you doing what you're doing? How can I start? And sometimes I'll reply back and I'll say, hey, what have you done so far? That's usually always what I do. How much are you doing and what do you know? A lot of the times people message me and they say, I know nothing. That is the worst answer to that question because you haven't done your own due diligence to at least know something, and then you come by to somebody that's really, really busy. It's just really hard to try to help that person because they're not willing to put in the work on the back end. So Josh, he was coming in, he was doing the work, and then when he was stuck because it was just something that he just couldn't understand, he would try to Google it first. He'd try to ask somebody else first. Once he couldn't get the answer, then he'd come to me because he knew how busy we were. He'd see us running around, and then he'd say, "Hey, look, this is where I'm stuck." And I, of course, if he's doing his work and he's putting in the work behind, then of course I'm going to help him. And so he was just being a great leader for himself and a great CEO at that point, trying to grow his business. And now, he's going on to do bigger things.
Wow, that's impressive. Woo. I mean, my follow-up question to this is for other 16, 17-year-olds watching this. Obviously, you got your first deal at 21?
Correct.
21. I mean, did you have an issue with, your confidence, or did a seller ever dismiss you because of your age?
Yes and no. So I always had that gut feeling every single time I went to a property of, man, we look so young. And not only that, for the first 6 months, I was the oldest in my company. Well, except for my first acquisitions. And everybody that was hiring, my dispo, my acquisitions, my cold callers, they were all younger than me. They were all 18, 19, 20-year-olds because it was all buddies of mine because, I didn't know how to structure a pay. So I just pay everybody commission. But I was too scared to bring in a professional, somebody who's already been in the sales industry, somebody who maybe already sold tons of cars and has that knowledge. I'd bring in rookies, and that's just the reality of it. And so I train them as much as I can. But they were all younger than me. And just because I didn't want to bring in somebody and give them a salary because I didn't know what the right salaries were and if I was paying too much or too little. So whenever we'd go to properties, not only would I look young, whoever I was going with on my team would look young.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was always a worry. But I slowly started to adapt to that. Somebody asked that question to him and he said, "Hey, look, say to the seller, if yes, I'm young. Is that going to affect me buying your house today?" And that just stuck with me. And that was a big confidential boost for me. But not only that, my stepfather owns a very, very big law firm in the state of Wisconsin. And so that gave me a lot of confidence or I guess credibility, because his billboards are everywhere. His bus billboards are everywhere. He's on TV. People know who he is. You say his slogan, it fell. So anytime somebody would ask, quickly I divert to that. Hey, yeah, I actually use my stepfather's money to invest. He's obviously this big lawyer, and I'm just here to, run these numbers, make sure that this makes sense. I practically manage his portfolio for him. So just using that helped. And to be honest, I never got questioned after that. Every time we dropped that, it just, and did they ever find out whether he actually was my stepfather or not? No, they didn't. So, I mean, anybody could use that line.
Wow. Was he really your stepfather?
Yeah, he actually is.
Oh, that's perfect then. Thank you so much for watching that video today. If you want more free value for wholesaling real estate, remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, if you want to join the best wholesaling real estate mentorship in the planet and join the wholesaling course that has the most people in it in the history of the world for wholesaling real estate, go to freewholesaling.com. It's free. There's no gimmicks. There's no upsells in this course. It is an absolute free wholesaling course. I've been told to charge thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I give it out for free. So like this video and subscribe. Join the movement for wholesaling real estate and go to freewholesaling.com and join my Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group. That is the largest mastermind in the country of like-minded wholesaling entrepreneurs who want to get connected absolutely for free and learn wholesaling real estate. Guys, I'll hope to see you there. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Have a blessed one.